There's a food that keeps showing up in longevity research, cardiovascular studies, and brain health literature, and most people walk right past it at the fish counter without a second glance. We're talking about mackerel. And before you scroll away, thinking this is going to be some dry nutrition lecture, stay with me, because what this fish does inside your body, once you start eating, it consistently is genuinely fascinating. Let's get into it. Section 1, the heart. Let's start here, because this is where the science on mackerel is the most dramatic. Mackerel is one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids on the planet, specifically EPA and DHA. Here's what they actually do: reduce triglyceride levels, lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation in arterial walls, and slow plaque buildup in your arteries. A landmark study in The Lancet followed over 2,000 men who had already suffered a heart attack. Those who regularly ate fatty fish like mackerel reduced their risk of dying from a second heart attack by 29%. That's nearly a third. The American Heart Association specifically recommends fatty fish at least twice a week because the cardiovascular evidence is that consistent. What's happening is the omega-3s act as a natural anti-inflammatory for your blood vessels. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now understood as a primary driver of heart disease, not just cholesterol, as we were told for decades. Section 2, the brain. Your brain is roughly 60% fat by dry weight. The dominant structural fat in your brain? DHA, the exact compound found in abundance in mackerel. A study in the journal Neurology found that people with higher DHA levels had measurably larger brain volumes as they aged and scored better on memory tests. That's not a placebo effect. That's anatomy. A meta-analysis in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that regular omega-3 fish consumption was associated with a notably reduced risk of developing Alzheimer's. And there's something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, essentially fertilizer for your brain cells. Omega-3 consumption is directly linked to higher BDNF levels, meaning mackerel isn't just protecting what you have. It may be actively helping your brain build and maintain neural connections. If you're in your late 20s or 30s, thinking, that's a future me problem, it really isn't. The deposits you make into your brain health now determine your cognitive trajectory decades later. Real quick, if you're finding this useful, hit that like button. It helps get this in front of people who actually need it. Okay, back to it. Section 3, inflammation and immunity. Chronic inflammation drives not just heart disease, but type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, depression, and accelerated aging. Most people in developed countries have omega-6 to omega-3 ratios, anywhere from 15 to 1 to 20 to 1. The optimal ratio is closer to 4 to 1. Eating mackerel regularly is one of the most direct ways to shift that balance. Mackerel is also high in selenium. One serving covers over 50% of your daily requirement. Selenium produces glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant, which neutralizes free radicals and keeps your immune system functioning properly. Section 4, bone health and vitamin D. This one surprises people. Mackerel is one of very few foods naturally high in vitamin D. A 100-gram serving can deliver over 80% of the recommended daily intake in many countries. The WHO estimates over 1 billion people are deficient in vitamin D globally, with downstream effects including weakened bones, impaired immunity, and disrupted hormonal regulation. Combined with the calcium and phosphorus also in mackerel, you get a genuinely bone-supportive food. Studies consistently link higher vitamin D status with better bone, mineral density, and lower osteoporosis risk. Relevant across all demographics, not just older adults. Section 5, mood, sleep, and mental health. This doesn't get discussed enough. Mackerel is rich in B12, which is critical for producing serotonin and dopamine, your primary mood-regulating neurotransmitters. B12 deficiency is directly associated with depression, cognitive fog, and fatigue. One 100-gram portion of mackerel can contain over twice your daily B12 requirement. A meta-analysis in translational psychiatry, covering over 150,000 participants, found a significant inverse relationship between omega-3 consumption and depression risk. The anti-inflammatory effect of omega-3s appears to directly influence neurotransmitter signaling on sleep. DHA has been linked to melatonin production, the hormone that governs your sleep-wake cycle. People with higher DHA levels consistently report better sleep quality. If you're struggling with disrupted sleep, and a lot of us are, this is worth noting. Section 6. Metabolism and body composition. Omega-3s have been shown to activate genes that promote fat burning while suppressing genes that encourage fat storage. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that combining omega-3 intake with moderate exercise produced significantly greater body fat reductions than exercise alone. Mackerel also delivers around 19 grams of complete protein per 100 grams. Protein has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. Your body burns more calories digesting it, and it's the primary driver of muscle maintenance as you age. Research in diabetes care also found that higher omega-3 intake is associated with better insulin sensitivity and lower fasting insulin levels, which matters enormously for long-term metabolic health. Section 7. Eyes and skin. DHA is a structural component of the retina. The age-related eye disease study found that people who consumed the most omega-3 fatty acids had a 30% lower risk of developing advanced macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of vision loss globally. For skin, omega-3s reinforce your skin's lipid barrier, reducing UV-induced damage, lowering inflammatory conditions like eczema, and improving hydration and elasticity. And because mackerel is high in CoQ10, a compound your cells use for energy production, regular consumption has been linked to reduced fatigue. Your natural CoQ10 levels decline with age, making dietary sources increasingly important. Practical: how to actually eat it. Mackerel is one of the most affordable fish available, and it comes canned, smoked, fresh, and frozen. Canned mackerel is one of the most cost-effective sources of protein, and omega-3s you'll find anywhere. Simple lemon, olive oil, and herbs over roasted vegetables. 15 minutes. Smoked mackerel on whole grain toast with Dijon mustard. 5 minutes. If you're not used to strong fish flavors, smoked mackerel is the milder entry point. Aim for 2 servings a week. That's genuinely enough to start shifting your omega-3 levels within 4 to 6 weeks. When you start eating mackerel regularly, your body gets omega-3 fatty acids, complete protein, B12, vitamin D, selenium, and CoQ10. And the cumulative effect shows up in your heart health, brain function, mood, sleep, skin, bones, and metabolism. This is one of those rare foods where the science genuinely piles up in the same direction. Across multiple systems, consistently, it won't fix everything. No single food does. But if you're looking for one evidence-backed change that actually moves the needle, this is a strong one. If you want to go deeper on omega-3 science, brain health, or sustainable nutrition, hit subscribe. New content every week. I'll see you in the next one.